Entertainment Mode Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 9, and my thoughts on this episode. This is the best episode of the season so far, to me. Now, are there problems with this episode? Yes, and it's mainly to do with the reporting and news stuff, which I'm kind of sick of them bringing into Star Trek. But Mariner was fantastic in this episode. The captain was also good. Yeah, I mean, I liked everything. I liked the introduction of the Texas thing, which I'll go into detail in spoilers. I liked the returning bad guy characters, which were a shock to see. But yeah, it's a good, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, it's a good Star Trek episode if you take away the reporting dog shit. But it's a good Star Trek episode. I mean, no, I can't say that. Yeah, okay, it's a good episode. Listen, I'm kind of, when it comes to Lower Decks, it is really difficult to give them praise for certain things because you just know they're going to fuck this up next season. I mean, I have confidence that the final episode might be enjoyable because the last two seasons, the final episode's not been that bad. But I don't know. I'll wait till next week. So let's just do the scoring now so we go to spoilers. I'm giving this an 8. No. Alright, yeah, fine. 8. I'm giving it an 8. An 8 out of 10. I think that's the best I've ever given a Lower Decks episode. So let's get into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with the captain explaining that Starfleet has accepted her new mission or her new kind of operation called Passover, which is pretty much the Cerritos visiting every first contact planet and making sure everything's okay, making sure they're not screwed up, and if they need Star Trek to help them. And so the Cerritos is being sent to a planet. Now, I didn't catch the name, but it is from Star Trek Next Generations. And this planet was, they were all drug addicts. And they were getting all their drugs from a drug planet. Listen, I know this is Next Generation. I think it was from the first season. And the first season of Next Generations ain't great. Like, the only episodes I ever watched from the first season are the 2 first episodes and the worm alien episodes from the first season. Because the rest of season 1 of Next Generation is dog shit. Better than what we get now from Kurtzman, but I'm sorry, I still can't get a few of some of them. So this one must be from that time or season 2, because I only ever watched Next Generations from season 3 to season 7, because those are the only good seasons of Next Generation. Anyway, so they're being sent to this planet that were all for the drug addicts who Picard helped get off the drug. And what I was worried about with this episode is that I thought they were going to say Picard fucked up and now they've got to fix what Picard has done, because they did do that in season 1 with Kirk. You know, about the robot who was all these, Western people's master, and it turned out when Kirk fixed that problem and left, they all just went back and fucked themselves over again, and then Mariner and the Lower Decks people had to save them. So I thought we were going to have that scenario again with the Cerritos going back to fix Picard's problem. But they didn't do that, which I am very grateful for. Because again, you've really got to stop shitting on previous captains and previous Star Trek shows. It's not a good look. So they get to the planet. Oh no, hold on. So that's the mission, but then the captain's told that a reporter will be joining them on their flyover mission, which panics the captain because she knows she has to make this look good, and she knows the crew of the Cerritos could pretty much fuck her up. So she needs to make a good impression tells the entire crew to sort themselves out. But she also starts to panic about what Mariner and her group are going to do in front of the reporter to screw up her chances of emotion and all that stuff. Because again, she's a reporter and she's going to pretty much be telling everybody what the Cerritos does. And also there's another reason that this mission is important, because it's supposed to show how important the California class is to Starfleet. So there you go. So she tells Ransom to make sure Mariner and the group are not in the way, keep them as far away from the reporter as possible, and there you go. So the reporter lands on the ship. Pretty much she's a fan of the California class because she was born somewhere near California and she feels attached to the name or whatever. And while she's walking through the deck, she bumps into Mariner, who's, again, what I like about Mariner in this episode is she's actually trying to show that her mother is a good captain, but her mother is just going over the top with the protection and doesn't want to show anything bad about the Cerritos. I mean, it's just a bit weird. I mean, she's a reporter, not a moron. I mean, someday you could say a reporter is a moron, but there you go. But yeah, it did kind of seem weird that she was getting rid of every activity that might show her crew as too relaxed, which is just odd, because you're a California class and everybody kind of makes jokes about you. I mean, I'm sure the reporter's not going to be that bothered about a party or two. So that was weird in the episode. But you can understand why she's doing this, but, you know, she didn't have to be that heartless, because she actually cancelled a pie eating contest to just make a good impression. I don't know. Anyway, they get to the planet. They beam down to the planet, and turns out the planet is fine. All the drug addicts have all gotten... They've all gone straight. They've all, you know, not touched any drugs. It just looks like Picard did a great job by cutting them off from their dealers. And yeah, they apparently like exercise. So this is pretty much too much of an easy mission for the Cerritos, or the Passover mission, because again, the Passover mission is supposed to be an important mission. It's supposed to make sure that first contact planets are doing well, but what the real point of this mission is pretty much to make Starfleet look good, basically, to say they're checking up on people and they're helping. And it's difficult to show how good the Cerritos crew is if the planet they're there to help doesn't need their help. So the captain pretty much panics, calls up the Admiral and asks for advice or whatever, and then she just decides, let's go to the drug dealer planet and make sure that they don't need our help. So the crew does, and whilst the reporter's back on the Cerritos, she's been questioning a bunch of people, and they've all been saying stuff about the ship. And then Ransom sees Mariner talk to the reporter in private, and then the reporter goes to the captain and pretty much calls her out on all the bullshit. You know, how she has fucked up so many times, about all the missions that's happened on the Cerritos, how there have been crew members that have been lost, how there's been crew members been turned into puppets, you know, all the crazy shit that's happened on the Cerritos. And the captain gets massively pissed off because she thinks Mariner said all this shit to the captain, because of the fact the captain's been trying to keep the reporter away from her. So the captain goes like scorched earth on Mariner, because she pretty much thinks you've just like torpedoed her entire career, you've made her look bad, and she's pretty much just sick of Mariner. So she decides to transfer Mariner to Starbase 80 as punishment for screwing her over with the reporter. And Mariner doesn't really try to fight, because she's just pretty much sick of her mother blaming her for stuff. When she tries to get help from the crew, all the crew start to blame her. The bastards. Again, those crewmen that are looking at her like she's just fucking said the wrong things. Oh, you heartless bastards. You heartless bastards. I am completely on Mariner's side in this episode. It's if that was me, their phases would have been out at that point. But Mariner just accepts her fate. She tries to talk to her girlfriend, but her girlfriend pretty much just doesn't want anything to do with her. And she just accepts that she's going to Starbase 80. And we see the crew of Starbase 80. They're just, I don't know, some idiots. So Mariner goes to Starbase 80, and that's all we see from her for the rest of the episode. The crew, the Cerritos, then heads off to the drug dealer planet to check if they need help. When they beam down, the place is pretty much deserted, and they walk about trying to see if anybody's around. And Ransom sees one person who pretty much tells her to hide, and then she's vaporized by a weapon. And this weapon is from the Breen. Yes, they brought the Breen back, which is pretty funny to me, because I think the Breen are a great bad guy character, and they are so underused in Star Trek. They really are, which is annoying. So the Breen attack, and they pretty much can't hold the Breen off, and they beam back up to Cerritos. Then they get chased by 3 Breen interceptors, and I love the fact that they show the Breen's what's that weapon called? I think it's an EMP weapon. And I like how they show that it does do serious damage to Federation ships. And I like the fact it didn't just do total damage, because, again, Starfleet did find out how to beat that weapon. But I still like how it's affected the ship, like knocks out their shields and damages their power. It was a great scene. And I think the fact it shows, when the Cerritos does a full volley of torpedoes, they just destroy all of the torpedoes to bring. I think that was a great fight. I'll give them more credit there. So the Breen are pretty much kicking the shit out of the Cerritos. They try to board the ship, and then a mysterious Federation ship appears out of nowhere, destroys one Breen ship, and the other 2 Breen ships try to fight it but can't handle it, and the Breen pretty much retreat. I think one gets destroyed on the retreat, but I'm not really too sure about that one. But yes, Federation won, Breen lost, and it turns out it is a secret Federation ship that is it's a drone Federation ship, not because there's no life size on the ship, and there's no holograms on the ship. But they don't really explain that, but they kind of explain it's not got any organic people on the ship, but it's a Texas class. And it turns out the Admiral didn't really give 2 shits about the Passover project. What he really wanted to show the reporter is the new Texas class. To show the Federation have got a new weapon and they're ready to fight whoever. Which I'll give the Admiral credit. I'd obviously do that too. You got this project, not really going to do anything. You get some eyes on it, and then you pretty much show your secret project to wow the audience. I mean, I get that. I do get it. And so, yeah, that's what the Admiral's plan was all along, to show Texas and to show the new class of ship. And then the reporter releases her program about the Cerritos and about the captain. She praises the Texas class, and she completely destroys the captain, because when she releases all the videos on the crew, it's pretty much shown the entire crew stabbed the captain in the back, whereas Mariner defended her mother, which is a fucking harsh thing to find out if you're the mother. So the captain tries to ring up Mariner, at Starbase 80. We get this really stupid scene with the crew trying to kill a bat. Don't know why. I know it's for comedy, but it's just lazy. You don't need it. But it turns out the commander of the base tells the captain Mariner quit for the Federation and pretty much handed their badge in, and has gone to join, who do you think? The archaeologist who we saw in the last previous episode. So Mariner and the archaeologist are now going to go on missions together to, I think, find mummies or stuff, or valuable shit. I mean, who knows? But yeah, that's where the episode ends. And probably next week's episode is going to be the captain trying to get in touch with the mother. But anyway, that's the episode. I think it's a good episode, best episode of the season so far. Maybe get a better one with episode 10. But yeah, I liked it. 8 out of 10. Really good episode. And that's my review. If you like my review, give it a like. If you dislike my review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. Anything with a soldier. Bye.